Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Refcam. As always, I am Stevie Wizard. I am a professional wrestling referee, a sometime ring wrestler, and for the first time in Refcam, I've got a special guest. I have Alex Cavanagh. Alex, how are you doing?
Not bad. You've got to mention I'm one half of the SWA Tag Team champions.
I was actually just genuinely going to say that at this very moment. He is one half of the SWA Tag Champions with the Lowland Superstar Glenn Dunbar. You are the Forgotten, of course.
And Jam O'Malley. Don't forget Jam.
Jam O'Malley, of course,
Jam
yes.
Technically Tag Team champion as well.
Yep, okay, the 3 years, that's fine. We're currently at Pierce Institute in Govan. Tonight it's the War of Independence, and it's tonight when the SWA goes up against England's IPW UK promotion. But you guys have managed to pull, I don't want to say a fast one, but you're not in the Scotland-England running, are you? Because you've issued a sort of non-tournament challenge.
It's also, in fact, because the English are scared of us. True story, English are totally scared to wrestle the greatest tag team in the world.
The three people you're facing tonight are David Conrad, who's he so far has been in Battle Zone and he's faced Joe Coffey, which is a heck of a start.
And he's a powerhouse.
He is, yeah, powerhouse. You've got Ryan Griffin.
Again, Battle Zone debut.
Yeah, he debuted at Battle Zone. I'd say they're unquanted in this match because he's never wrestled in a singles or tag match apart from the Battle Zone match.
But
so
obviously, as a team, me, Dunbar and Nicky Storm have done our homework. We've been to training when they've been there and we've seen them work in a match environment,
yes,
and I know that Ryan Griffin is quite a high flying little man, so it's going to be a good time keeping him on the ground.
And the third person, of course, is Courtney, who anybody that's the last Friends and Family show down at the Wrestling School will saw her and Nikki tangle, which I'm assuming is part of the reason Courtney's stepped up to the challenge.
Or if they read Evening Times today, she was in the Evening Times.
Well, yeah, so I believe she was indeed in the Evening Times, which is not bad, getting some publicity for herself, can't argue that. Really.
Exactly, cannot. So, obviously I won't be hitting her, I don't think, because obviously we have Nick who will smash girls for us.
Well, that's fairly chivalrous of you.
Oh yes, I have no intention of kicking a girl in the face.
That's nice to know. I'm sure the ladies out there watching this are more than happy with that.
Oh yes, ladies, I will not kick you in the face.
But do you think though, that looking at it from my perspective, obviously yourself, Dunbar and Nikki have got, like, I'm assuming you're nudging 20 years combined experience at least. Dunbar must have been around for at least 10 years. You've been around for at least 7 and 8? Okay.
8 this year.
So it's 18. Nikki's been around for 5, 6?
Yeah, over 20 years experience.
So you've got 20 years experience. And that's a lot of footage on DVD, up on YouTube, for other companies. In some respects, for like Conrad, for Courtney, for Griffin, there's a lot of footage of you they can study, but there's not really any footage of them that you can study. Obviously you've been at training with them in the training school, but as I'm sure you'll be the first to say, training in this training school and actually being on a show is like a different thing. Yeah.
But at the same time, have they done their homework? Have they spent the hours? Have they spent the time looking at us the way we've looked at them?
Well, there's only way to find out, and that'll be a bit later on tonight.
That's exactly it.
For your 6-man tag.
Could be a 6.5-man tag. You never know where Jam O'Malley might be.
There is the spectre of Jam O'Malley at ringside. Will he be with you? Will he feel the need to be at ringside? Will he not?
Again,
obviously we'll find out.
The people of Refcam and the people at the show will find out we're not going to divulge the whereabouts of Jam O'Malley tonight.
Indeed, obviously if you're watching this, the match is, the show itself is over. So you'll have found out. You can go to the SWA website and find the results, I'm sure.
ScottishWrestling.co.uk.
Oh, check the plug.
/ results. I'm pretty sure.
There's a link to the website at the end of the show anyway. You can see it then.
We'll also link my personal Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Alex Cavanagh Wrestler.
I'll put a link that'll be at the bottom of the
also YouTube page, but
on the YouTube
again,
page, yeah.
He can link the
YouTube I'll put the links at the bottom of the comments on the YouTube
Follow
page.
Me on Twitter, all that jazz.
Yes. Alright, don't build your part. Alex Cavanagh.
No, that's actually Cavzilla 19 on Twitter.
Alright, yeah, all that. Follow Alex Cavanagh, why not? Congratulations or good luck, I should say, with your match tonight. We'll see what happens.
And thank you for having me on Refcam itself.
No, it's fine. I thought, I'm sure the people at home are getting bored to see my face and just hearing me talking, so I thought, why not?
Why not?
Even though these faces are remarkably similar, we're even wearing the same t-shirt with just slightly winning.
It's for work. It's
a business thing, yeah. So yeah, good luck with your match tonight. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully you're not going to overestimate your opponents, or underestimate, I should say. And we'll see what happens. So they're in the non-tournament match. Lewis Govan obviously is in the non-tournament match against Jonathan Bishop,
which is bound to be outstanding. Lewis Govan, one of the biggest names in Scottish wrestling at the minute. Massive opportunity for this young man. Jonathan Gresham, household name in the Indies scene, household name in the US. He spends a lot of time in Europe.
Well, yeah, in Europe and Japan, he spends so much in like WXW, 01. He's held belts.
He's a member of their sister company in Japan.
Yes,
so it's a big. Well, it's a good opportunity for him to come to Scotland, show the fans of Scotland what he can do, and it's a big test for Lewis to make.
It certainly is. He's really going to have his work out.
This is Lewis's second US Indie star.
Yes,
he's actually going out this with a bit of momentum. He beat Chuck Taylor.
He did beat Chuck Taylor. He's also been in the ring with Ultimate Dragon. He's been in the ring with Super Crazy as well. So Lewis has faced those people with international experience, so it's going to be difficult.
Oh yes.
And of course the other part of the show, as we know, is in Scotland, England. It's IPW UK from down south against Scotland's SWA. There's a whole bunch of, I'm not going to go into all the matches just now, but there's the best of the SWA against the best IPW UK.
Yep.
I mean,
and there's Mikey Whiplash's Open Challenge.
Yeah, Whiplash's Open Challenge. I know that obviously you don't necessarily see eye to eye with every SWA star here,
Not at all,
but tonight it's, in some respects, you've got more like professional pride, company pride, country pride, like Scotland. You know, I'm assuming obviously you'll be pulling for your SWA comrades, even if you don't like them personally. You're going to hope that they're going to be
obviously I hope that they are all victorious, but in the same respect I hope the English hurt them.
Can't defend that, I guess. I suppose if they get hurt, less chance of challenging for your tag belts.
I hope they get hurt, and then the Forgotten will just pick up the pieces as we do.
Well, what can you say to that? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Alex Cavanagh.
Once again, Stevie the Wizard.
So, we're still here at the Pearce Institute in Govan. I'm joined by one of my favourite people from SWA. It's the one and only, it's true, the only food shop, Tom Fulton. How are you doing, Tom?
Very good, thanks.
First, really good, thank you. First of all, can I say I'm loving the fact that your beard and my t-shirt are the same colour. How awesome is that? You've been in SWA for a couple of years now, haven't you? When was it you first started training? I've put on the spot. It's been a few years anyway.
Yeah, I've been doing it over 3 years.
Right, over 3 years. But you've crammed quite a lot in that time, haven't you? Because like one of the things I always sort of do when I first started doing refcam was see people who had actually refed. And that was one of the things you've done.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did on a show? Do you remember? Did you like referee first? Because you've refed, announced and wrestled as well. Do you remember what the very first thing was?
First of all, it was just like security, selling tickets, posters, and all jobs that everybody needs to do first. I think I did reffing first before I did ring announcing. Then I did music and stuff afterwards. Reffing, Night Wrestling show.
Night Wrestling is sadly closed down now, but we do miss Night Wrestling. Hello, GC Mac, if you're watching. One thing I always wanted to ask, in the case of the referee thing, obviously, you're in the ring, you sort of have like a role to play. Did you feel when you finally got wrestling that being in the ring as a ref helped, like, to kind of be used to being in front of a crowd?
Not so much to be in front of a crowd. I found that it helped. It definitely helped me as a wrestler, just seeing how other people had put their matches together, seeing. Because you're so close, it's better than a front row ticket. You can see exactly what everybody's doing and realise, wow, that's amazing. I should be doing that. I should be doing that. And you pick up things that you like and just see how the pros do it, and then stuff you can apply when it's your turn.
Awesome. So definitely benefited you.
Oh, absolutely. I still love refereeing now. I love to do I'm always first to jump in at training and need a ref for a training match, and even for shows if needed. I love to do it.
Now, for the past few years, you've not been around the SWA quite as much as you have in the past, and that's because you now stay in Romania. There's not really much in the way of wrestling in Romania. I'm not sure of the history of the country where they've had wrestling before. There may be something going through it. But you've taken the step of setting up not only your own company but your own training schools, haven't you?
Yes. As highlighted, there had actually been 2 international tours in the last 15-20 years. There's been 2 international tours that have gone through Romania. I wanted to start my own Romanian company, not somebody who's coming in. It's not going to be like, say, an SWA show in Romania. Yeah. This is actually a Romanian promotion, a Romanian training school, so that hopefully I can train up enough guys to get a proper wrestling scene in Romania that can survive by itself.
Cool. Well, start first of all then with the training school, because obviously everybody has to train somewhere.
Yeah.
So you've set up Source Wrestling Romania.
Yes.
Which you've taken almost an offshoot of source wrestling here in Scotland, because you've obviously gone by the things that you've been taught there,
yes.
you've been trained in using those principles, those beliefs, whatever.
Definitely.
To set that up. How easy, first of all, was it to set it up, to get it going? I mean, was it like a case of, here's a building, let's get going, or...?
No, very difficult. First I tried to get, I advertised in a few places, tried to get enough heads together so that we could then get together and try and find somewhere. That didn't quite work. So then, just through trial and error, I just had to organise a few training sessions in different places and find a place that we think would be good to stay. As it turned out, our second venue was perfect. We've got a fully equipped boxing gym, we've got our fully built ring, we've got cardio areas, changing rooms, showers.
All mod cons?
Yeah, it's very nice. So every Sunday, 7 till 9 in Mircea Box Gym in Bucharest. Venues happen to be there.
There you go, if you want to take a trip across, why not? The obvious thing is that once you've got the kind of training so far, it would be obviously on a show, and you've already announced the Romanian Wrestling Alliance, which is obviously that's going to be running a show sometime soon. When is the date for that?
24th of May, the first ever Romanian independent wrestling show. 24th of May. Very exciting.
Is that all something you wanted to do, like when you got to Romania, was to put on a show?
Absolutely. I just assumed there was wrestling there, quite naively, before I moved there. I know in a lot of countries around there is wrestling, like there's Do or Die in Poland, there is HCW, Hungarian Championship Wrestling in Hungary, so I just assumed there would be something there, and there was absolutely nothing. So I kind of wanted to put on a show. Through wrestling and training around Europe, I kind of made enough connections that I thought I could put on a show, and just through speaking to people and getting advice, what started off as I'd like to put on a show has become I now the owner and runner of a wrestling school and a promotion and everything that goes with it.
That's quite a big step. I mean, from wanting the idea of putting on a show, which I'm sure everybody is still, if I do a show, I do this and that, but then actually go towards making it happen, and in a country that's not your native language.
No.
Like, you couldn't have made this much more difficult, could you? Are you attempting to overcome every possible hurdle?
Yeah, something like that. I'm very lucky that I've got a great bunch of friends in Romania who've been brilliant for translations, coming to meetings. Trainees have been able to come and help me as well, just to translate in meetings with venues and different people who I'm going to have to work with. So I've managed to bypass the language barrier as much as possible. I speak a little Romanian, but it's most definitely not enough.
Well, that's fine, but it seems to be working, because obviously you set the company up.
Yeah.
Now, so it's in May, is your...
May 24th.
May 24th. I know you've got a Facebook page?
Yep. Just Facebook.com/Romanian Wrestling Alliance.
And on that, you've already announced some of the roster that you've been having.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a couple of people that we'll be seeing on show?
Yes, I'm delighted to have managed to get hold of Thunder. Huge name around Europe. He actually retired 3 years ago and he retired at the top of the game. He was the European Wrestling Promotion World Champion. The belt he took from Rhino. Big names, taking on the best in the world, and just I happened to have got in touch with him when he was considering coming out of retirement, and I'm going to be one of the first companies in the world to have Thunder's return to the ring.
He's in action next week.
I know.
He's gone, so hopefully I'll get the chance to speak to him. But that'll be quite good. Get some of the rust off before
Yep.
Heads across to Romania.
Yep. So we've got Thunder, we've got Paul Tracy. Everybody knows Paul Tracy.
And if you don't, you should. You're all Paul Tracy guys.
Paul Tracy guys. Yeah, we've got Paul Tracy coming from Ireland, and the idea is it's not been formally announced yet, so depending on when this goes online, this might be a bit of an exclusive. We're hoping to have some sort of European trophy or championship, and we're trying to get as many different countries around Europe as possible. We've managed to put on, I think there's 10, I think there's going to be 13 different entrants from 10 different countries. Or maybe 9 different countries, but yeah, representing, we have Thunder representing England, we have Paul Tracy representing Northern Ireland, we have Damon O'Connor representing Northern Ireland, we've got Glenn Dunbar and Joe Hendry representing Scotland, we've got myself representing my adopted homeland of Romania. There will also be the first ever Romanian wrestler trained by the Source Wrestling School of Romania will feature on the show. We've got Dover from Hungary, we've got Cobra from Italy, we have Gabriel Angelfire from Holland, very excited about that. We also have a student from the wrestling school of Greek, so we're going to have Greece represented. It's going to be very exciting, lots of different things going on in there.
There's I think there's going to be a ladies match as well, because you have announced 2 women in the show.
Yeah, the best wrestler in the galaxy, Nikki Storm. Delighted to have Nikki on board. One of the biggest stars internationally as far as women wrestling goes. And I'm actually very, very happy with our opponent. We managed to get Audrey Bride from Hungary. I've been in Hungary wrestling a few times, and she's someone who's really impressed me. Unfortunately, there's not a great deal of female competition out there in Hungary. This is our first trip outside of Hungary to wrestle, and in Hungary she'd wrestle a lot of guys because there isn't any other female competition. So I'm delighted that we're going to see her take on Nikki Storm, one of the biggest names in Europe.
She's going to have her hands full.
She most definitely
like Nikki Storm. Well, I mean, from what you've said so far, and judged by that roster, that looks like a hell of a show.
Well, that was,
no matter what the combinations of the matches are, it looks like really good.
That was my idea. I figured that the only way to do this properly was to put on what I believe will be possibly one of the best cards in Europe this year. I didn't want to do this in half measures. The Romanian fans have never seen an independent wrestling show, and I want to bring them the best independent wrestling show I possibly can.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Romanian Wrestling Alliance. You can find it on there. Why do we need to do all the work for you? Go and hunt it down. Go and like the page, even if you're not going to go to the show, like it. Why not? You can read the bios. They're in English and in Romanian as well, which is
yes, a lot of work.
Yes, we learn something. Tom, I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you
very much. It's always a pleasure seeing you, first of all. I know you're not always around quite as much as I would like, personally, and others would like. But hopefully all goes well in Romania. Hopefully the show goes well, because again, it looks like it's going to be a storming show. So, yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, a handshake wasn't caught again. There we go.
Saw some wood.
Yes. Good luck with the show, and we'll find out later in the year how it went.
Thanks very much.
So we're in the changing area of the Pearson Institute. The show's underway. The first 2 matches have been done. I did the second match. Paul Riker beat Joe Hendry. And this man here did the first match. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tom Scarborough, referee for IPW UK, better known as Little Tom. And it's been a very long journey up here today.
Yeah, 9 hours, I believe.
Yeah, 9 hours.
It's a long way to travel.
Yeah, not as, quite a bit longer than we thought that it would take.
See, generally I would have said 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the most you would do. And that's taking it kind of slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stop a lot.
Yeah, well, it was successful.
Yeah, as you would expect. I mean, a bunch of wrestlers in a car, you're never going to go in one go. So obviously you're up because, as we know, the show tonight is Scotland against England, SWA against IPW UK, so it makes sense you have an IPW referee just to keep things fair. Obviously me and Thomas are impartial, as always, as I assume you are as well, so that's fine, yes. So you refereed Ashley Reed, yes, Mr. IPW. Yes. How was the match?
Well, yeah, great opening contest. Both guys are great talent, and obviously I've worked with Ashley loads of times down south from the UK. In the UK?
Well, it's still part of the UK. Until Scotland goes independent, we're all still part of the UK.
Yeah, down in England, I worked with Ashley loads of times. Of course, his usual tricks, choking on the ropes, things like that. You always got to watch out for Ashley because it can be very devious. Obviously, you can deal with it, and I dealt with it. Chris Sate, great guy, great talent. And yeah, the crowd loved it. The crowd loved Chris Sate and didn't love Ashley Reed, especially when he wiped his feet on the Scottish flag.
Yeah, Christopher Sate I'm a big fan of, both personally and professionally. I think he's one of these guys that is just waiting for that thing to break out. He's got everything.
So hopefully this like opens some eyes, be it in IPW or whatever else, and hopefully it gets some, exposed further around the UK and so on. So you were saying earlier, you've been refereeing for about a year?
Yep, just over a year. So it was summer 2012 that I first attended an IPW event.
Right.
And I went to referee Chris Roberts.
Right.
Who's quite big in
There's like the benchmark in British wrestling, I would say.
Yeah, he was
not just because he's really tall.
Yeah, he was doing a seminar, so I went along to that. And I made my debut in January 2013. So just a year ago.
Oh, fantastic!
It's been a great.
Is it all been for IPW UK that you've read?
Mainly IPW UK. I've had crossed down to a couple of other companies. There's WrestleForce, which is in Essex.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously tonight, I consider this a debut for a
that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I can understand that. So I mean, is refereeing the thing you always wanted to do, or has it been a case that you've like wanted to wrestle and that the refereeing's come along and you've taken the opportunity?
Well, obviously everyone wants to be a wrestler, but it just takes. For me, I wouldn't want to have given the dedication that all the guys give. They put so much into it, and like I love wrestling, but I wouldn't want it to become my life as it does with these guys. But no, I love refereeing. I love doing it. I love meeting new guys and like traveling up and down the country. It's so much fun, and you get to work with loads of different guys.
Yeah, this is one of the fun things about today's shows, because like half the card is newcomers, if you like, because it's guys from IPW who maybe I've only ever heard of or I've seen on YouTube or on DVD or whatever it is. So the experience working with me in the flesh is different. I always think as a ref, you only get better by refereeing better people. And it's nice to work with different folk, because everybody's got their way of doing things. Scotland has its way of doing things, particularly in the West. I'm sure down in England and London, like the UK, they've got their way of doing things. So you expect wrestlers have got what they would want from a referee and from a match. So it's nice to kind of adapt to that and somewhat. Who just, out of who do you think is the biggest name of such things as that you've refereed?
I would probably say Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack, yeah.
He was massive.
Yes.
I've been lucky enough to referee a couple of CZW guys. So Drake Younger, who's now massive in the indie circuit.
Yes,
DJ Hyde.
DJ Hyde, yeah, he's just massive in the West.
Tommy End, who's big in Holland and big in Europe.
Yes, top WXW guy.
And Drew Gulak, who's the current CZW champion.
Wow.
And then
it's quite the pedigree.
Yeah, I've been great. Like London Riots are a great tag team in the UK at the moment. Middle Gear. Joined by
Jonathan Gresham, hello. You can't really see Jonathan Gresham. Oh, you can just wandering off the side. It's fine. He's preparing for this match. We'll catch him now. Well, that's pretty good. So many referees, the kind of thing that you want to sort of just be, acknowledge against the Scotland.
Obviously, I'd love to work for. I love to be doing it more and more.
Of course, definitely. Yeah. It's always nice when you get that call or that message. Are you available?
Yeah, and it's great to work with loads of different people as well, because you can get feedback from so many different places. I love getting feedback from all the guys I work with, and the more people you work with, the more feedback you get.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, Tom, you've got another match to do tonight.
Yes,
Which one is it you're doing?
I'm refereeing Mikey Whiplash's Open Challenge.
Yes, it's been interesting to see just who he's going to be faced with. As of yet, I've frankly no idea. I mean, I can look in the changing room and I see everybody who's pretty much in a match in the show somewhere. So I guess, by the time you watch this, you'll have found out because the show will be over. So you'll know who it was by now. So that'll be quite good. I've got one more match to do. I'm doing the 6-person tag match, which I'm quite looking forward to. I think it's going to be a bit complicated to deal with, having 6 people, and Jam O'Malley's at ringside, so that's really 7, so it'll be difficult. But I'm sure I'll get through it. And you have got the IPW show tomorrow.
Yes.
Because you're based on the same thing in England. But IPW UK is hosting some of the Scottish people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the reverse fixture's good.
Yeah.
So you've got to travel down.
Yeah. So I think we're having a couple of drinks after this.
Just to calm down, yes.
And then
but the driver won't be. No. Drinking, driving, bad.
And then,
we're officials, we can't allow that sort of thing. That'd be a DQ. Yeah.
And then we're straight back down to England, down to Kent.
That's a lot of driving for you. But it's how wrestling works. Sometimes you've got to take in the mileage, the long journeys. But Tom, it's been fun so far.
It's been
enjoy the other match you've got. I'm as interested to see what's going to happen as you are. Obviously, be a third man in the match with Whippy and whatever it is. And safe journey back.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy your show tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. SWA's over. The show is still sort of continuing. Our goal match in the second half was the 6-man tag. I'd forgotten Nicky Storm against Courtney, Ryan Griffin and David Conrad, which was actually really good. And I was out for the main event, the Covers against London Knights. Both sides, Scotland England were out as well. There's just been this massive brawl, and me and Tom have tried to gain some semblance of control. So we're through the back. The match is still happening as we speak, but there's just been this massive fight. And so we're through here. And that's it. And I'm tired because it's been a long day. And the show's done. It's still in the air. I don't know who's going to win. It's even this match will decide it. But I say it's still going on. Coffee's London Knights. If you were there, obviously you'll know how good the match was and how good the show's been. If you weren't, well, it's your fault. What did I tell you? You should keep coming along. Tomorrow night in England, IPWK are hosting some SWA guys, so they're doing the same show but down there, like a return match. I won't be at that, unfortunately, but you know, it'll be good anyway. And yeah, that's it. So thankfully I can pack up now, I can get changed out of my shirt. Yeah, and I can head for home. So there you go. So thanks to the IPWK guys, it's been fun seeing some new faces, refereeing some new people. And yeah, I'll see you all again sometime.